welcome to the Spencer Board of Selectmen regular meeting of May 11th, 2015. We are, it's approximately 6:05, and we are in Conference Room A due to the upcoming elections. If everyone could rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow, does that echo here?
Thank you.
Thought we had a whole crowd on.
Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Business meeting of April 27th, 2015.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain since I wasn't there at the meeting. So. Citizens input. Anyone want to come forward and be heard? Yes, sir. If you give us your name and address, we appreciate it.
Robert Seppi, 15 Marble Road, Spencer. According to your agenda tonight, you have an executive session on the Sugden block, and I'd like to put some comments in on that situation.
Sure.
As you know, there was only one proposal submitted by my company, and obviously there's no interest because the building's like a dinosaur, no one wants it. No one can really figure out what to do with it. We were the only one who even tore the building, never mind, only one to put a submittal in. We did make two proposals for uses that were, in our minds, limited use of parking, the need for parking. That's in the proposal, you'll see it when you get to look at it. Some of the financials for the building, which the committee really didn't take task to do for propose, when they sent out the request for proposals, when they gave you the recommendations, no one really looked into the financial aspects of that building. I did a little bit of homework on it. I wanted to share some of that with you. 3 of the last 4 years, they have lost money in that building. I got some spreadsheets here, I did briefly. My numbers are kind of general, because I don't understand 100% of how the financials are put together there in the town, because there's a lot of, some capitals go back and forth, and maybe some creative financing done. But 2 of the last 3 years, they lost $20,000. The current fiscal year, through 10 months, there's a $20,000 loss up to this point, $21,000 loss up to this point, with 2 months left in the year. I took the projections of the rents that will be coming in for the next fiscal year for the 4 tenants that are in there. One of them is Mexicali's, and their lease is up in October of this year. I'm not sure if they renewed yet or not. They have an option to renew. So assuming that they're gonna be here for another 5 years or 4 years, the projected income for the next year, based on the current tenants, is $40,000. At the town meeting last week, one of the articles, Article 5C, number 3, you guys approved $81,800 for expenditures for that building. So you've already gonna have a $40,000 loss next year based on current conditions. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. There are leases that were signed just this last year for the 3rd floor. They, and you also have one tenant on the 2nd floor that's leases through October. Those leases bring in $1,450 a month. As part of their leases, the lessor of the town is paying all utilities. So I looked at the utility costs just for the first 4 months of this year. And utility costs, which is the heat, electricity only, that's all I looked at, each month was about $3,500. So each month you're losing about $2,000 a month just from those.
We don't pay the electric.
In the lease it says you do. I'm just going by what the lease says, okay?
I know there's 14 meters down the stairs in that cellar, so everybody should pay their own electric, I
Sure,
think.
but I'm not sure they do. I'm just telling you what I read the
Yes,
lease,
okay.
okay?
All right.
But what I'd say is not to interrupt you, Bob, but
You're making our point for why we put it up for sale.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I was saying, 'cause
Right.
that's the whole point here, there's a reason it was up for sale, and it was recommended it not be done, and I just think no one really looked at the financial part of it. And also, there's no inclusion of any future capital expenditures, which you know you're gonna have to do at some point, sprinkler system, probably a roof, some other major expenses. So, and the other thing is, it is a offer that was given that had terms and conditions, and part of that is negotiable. Part of the count is a negotiation between the seller and the buyer, like any other purchase and sales agreement. So if there are terms or conditions in the proposal that was given, it's up to, you know, negotiation, give and take, maybe some items take away, add some others, so on and so forth. It's not like you have to accept it as it was proposed. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I have,
Well, Carol, go ahead.
I learned last week on television that this week is National Police Week, which I wasn't aware of. I didn't even know there was a police week. And I thought it was appropriate because the police have been rather painted with a bad brush right now because of some situations going on. And it makes me feel badly for the Spencer Police because I think we have a fine department. And I just want to congratulate Chief Barron for the job that he does and the men that work for him and the women. I think they do a fabulous job, and I asked Beth's permission to talk about this. She's on the camera, so she can. She was broken into. She was home at the time, and she called the police. She threw the guy out, which you don't mess around with Beth. She called the police. They were there in, I don't know, minutes. Caught him. They were extremely professional. They were extremely polite to her, did all that needed to be done. It went to court and so forth. Unfortunately, the court system lacks some of my, I'm not as happy with the court system as the police, let's put it that way. But be that as it may, the police did what they needed to do and should do, and always treated her with respect and, you know, did what they needed to do. And I think we're really fortunate in Spencer to have Chief Darren. I also feel we're very fortunate to have Chief Parsons as the fire chief and the men on the fire department. As a senior, to me, those two departments are the most important departments in town, because as you get older, and you'll find out, you feel less able to deal with life. And sometimes, I don't know as I've ever called them. Yes, we did have one fire situation. But it's always comforting to know that if you call, somebody's gonna be there really fast, and they're going to know what to do, and they're going to give an older person some help in the middle of a snowstorm or whatever. It's a little scary as you get older, and you'll find that out. Life gets a little more difficult. So I just felt it was appropriate to say something about our police department, because it's unfortunate if the police departments, you know, as a whole, get painted with this bad brush. I don't like it at all.
I agree.
There's so many good policemen out there in every department. So I just wanted to take that opportunity.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think you'll get any disagreement at this table. We're very fortunate with the department we have. With the limited resources they have, they're extremely efficient and effective, so we're very, very fortunate. And I'll echo those thanks to Chief Darren and his staff. I didn't even know it was National
I didn't know that either.
Police, is it a day or a week or?
It's a week,
It's a
and
week.
I know that the marquee says for the election tomorrow, but I guess I would ask that you put National Police Week on the marquee and maybe make a policeman. I walked up to one about a week ago and shook his hand, because I have felt very badly about the bad press they get. I think it's very unfair.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. Okay, we'll look into doing that after the election's done. Thank you, Carol. Anybody else that can be heard? we have any communications? I have something from our annual invite from the Goddard Kirk Post for the annual Memorial Day Parade and service. So that's a great event, so I'd urge everyone to go out and watch the parade and event that occurs.
You want to read the time? I think there's a lineup time and then there's a...
Yeah, the lineup time is 8:30 in the morning, and the start time of the parade is at 9 a.m. And then there's Memorial Day services immediately following up at the park, next to the MHPI. Brownie Park. So I'll look forward to that. Do you want to introduce the next one, Mr. Administrator?
6A?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so under new business, under A, we are here tonight to grant a certificate of appreciation to Ms. Linda Lane, who has served on the Board of Health many years. I do believe we have a certificate that the chairman and vice chairman will present to you. And with you tonight is Board of Health agent, Mr. Lee Jarvis, and I don't know if you wanted to add a few words just
Well,
on...
I've had the pleasure of working with Linda for the past 23 years.
Wow.
And as of tomorrow, it's come to an end.
Oh.
She's put up with me for 22 years.
I was just gonna say,
Tell us it was such an enjoyable experience, the years just flew by,
They
right?
did, they flew
For me,
by.
maybe.
Well, on behalf of the town, we all know, and everybody in the room here knows how important it is to have people volunteer and serve on boards, and for you to do it for such a long time. We really do appreciate your service to the community, and I know Lee has, as well as everybody else in the office of Otis. So for that, we really appreciate your time over the years.
Thank you. 23 years did fly by, believe it or not. All those elections, some of them were quite competitive, and I want to thank the residents of the town for putting me in office for that many years. It's like I wouldn't be here. So I'm greatly appreciative. I've enjoyed working with Lee. He's a fountain of knowledge. He's competent. I mean, he's made it easy in a lot of ways, so.
Yeah.
So, on a good note, and I've been fortunate.
There you go.
I started out with Mr. Eckelberry on the Selectmen board and have gone through quite a number of people on my board as well. And Lee and I'm exiting before Lee, so.
Not that
But
much.
As
it's been a
we,
good run. It's been a good run.
congratulations. As we mentioned at the town meeting, you know, any continuous and service to the town, you know, like yourself and some of the service we honored that evening, it should be recognized and celebrated whenever we can. So I think we've done a good job in the last few years to do that. So we got a certificate for you.
All righty.
Presented to Linda Lane. The Spencer Board of Selectmen recognize your valued contributions as a 23-year member of the Board of Health. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Thanks again, Linda.
Okay, yeah.
Always good to do that type of stuff.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you.
Okay, are you going to represent, next item? Next item on the agenda is a review request from Mary Queen of the Rosary Parish to close Prospect Street for the annual bazaar on June 5th and 6th of 2015. Oh, you gotta recuse yourself?
yeah, I gotta excuse myself for that.
Again, you know, Sandy's not here, usually she comes for all of these things.
Yeah,
so-
no, I'm not sure where she is. I haven't seen her since this morning. so.
She's been busy with the sign up, I think, for the school and whatever's going on over there, so.
Yeah.
On her behalf, I will say, Mr. Chairman, this is an annual thing. There's no problem with the chief of police or any comment, never. So I would recommend that we approve.
Okay, yeah, this is something that just happens every year.
Yep.
So, and Prospect is closed every year for it. So, do I have a motion? A motion?
Motion.
Motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. The next item that goes hand in hand with it is the one-day alcohol license request from Mary Queen of the Rosary Parish for the annual bazaar on June 5th through 6th, 2015. I have to ask, and I'll ask the Selectman Fritz, Is this correct? Don't they usually have Friday and Saturday?
Yes, it is Friday and Saturday.
Okay, so it's really, I would amend this motion to be a 2-day.
Says June 5 and 6.
It's considered a one
It's
day
a
by the.
one day though, because we don't have, and this is, again, a yearly thing that's
Yeah,
done.
right.
But we don't have a 2-day, we don't have, you know what I mean?
No.
Okay, so I just was concerned that
Yeah.
they would restrict them in some way if we didn't
No.
catch it.
No.
Okay.
So based on that, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to recommend approval for the one-day license,
I have a mo-
however it is for the 56.
Excellent, thank you. I have a motion, I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I look forward to,
You can
What
come
is
back,
that?
Mr. Fritz.
welcome back.
Was quiet.
We'll move on to old business. Action item, CDBG fiscal year 2013 extension request. Mr. Administrator.
So, as you are familiar with, we've received multiple grants over the last few years for community development block grant initiatives. The FY 2013 grant, that was the one that we just did with the downtown planning project. It was a joint application with the town of North Brookfield. We had some housing rehabilitation in addition to some infrastructure work in town here as well. Due to the fact that they only give you about 18 months to complete these projects, but it's very common that you usually don't complete everything in that timeline. Typically, it's related to housing and rehabilitation because of either we're waiting on lead testing or weather or other. So we are seeking an extension from the Department of Housing and Community Development. It requires a vote of the Board of Selectmen, and we would extend from June 30th of this year to September 30th of this year. So we're looking for a 90-day extension, and it does require a formal vote of your board and then formal approval from the state.
And this isn't extraordinary, because this has happened before.
Oh, this-
So
Having done CDBG for 15 years, it happens all the time.
It doesn't affect any specifics with the.
So again, you're not changing, all we're doing, it's a program extension for time.
Yep.
Which is, again, it's usually a formality. When you start getting into applying for amendments, when you're either moving money from one project to another, creating a new project with leftover money, those types of things, those are a little more involved, but this is standard operating procedure, if you will.
with that being said, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to authorize the extension request.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the next item, take a deep breath, Mr. Administrator, with the evaluation.
Can we pass over?
Because of email issues, and I'll get that done tomorrow, we'll discuss it. Can we discuss that in our workshop?
Yes, I do have it on the agenda for the workshop, which is now the 18th, so a week from tonight. It's the only thing I have on the agenda.
Okay.
So plenty of time to talk, if you wish. Or, it's a little time.
I'm gonna do a lot of
to
talking.
if you wish.
Yeah, always ready.
I'll be
Very
with
ready.
you.
Should I schedule an executive
I'll
session?
be with you.
Yeah.
We might need you.
Wear your armor.
You still have
Okay.
those hockey pads?
It still fits.
Just checking.
Thank you for your patience. Town Administrator's report.
So just a follow-up, unfortunately, this isn't gonna be, isn't broadcast live, so just wanted to follow up and let everyone know. This is a reminder, town election is tomorrow. The polls will be open 12 to 8, hence the reason that we're in this room tonight, because the core social hall and the meeting hall upstairs are all set up for elections, so hoping everyone can come out and partake in that. The 3 ballot questions in addition to the positions that are up for election. As far as town meeting, I thought it went rather smoothly. We had 31 articles. We had some presentations in the beginning. I don't remember the exact time. I think it was maybe at the end of the day, an hour and a half or 2 hours to get through 31 articles, which is pretty good. We had some good discussion. I think everyone held themselves respectfully, and the moderator did a great job as usual. People were allowed to add some points. There was only one article that was defeated, and that's the will of the people. So with that, we move on. Continue as business as usual. We appreciate everyone that showed up. We're allowed to move forward now with our budget, and the schools are obviously allowed to move forward with their budgets and all the other articles that we had. We had some bylaw changes and some other things on there as well. So appreciate everyone that came out, and look forward to a good turnout tomorrow as well. If anyone on the board had any questions for me or comments.
No, I'd just like to echo your thanks for folks who came out to exercise their right to hear their voices heard in town politics. So, thank you again. Any other comments, gentlemen? Okay. Move on to board liaison reports. I'll just mention that there's still activity with the school and negotiations, so we'll see where that goes. So that's still going on, so we'll see if there's something to report in the near future.
Perfect.
Other than that, John, we're working on economic development.
Yes,
We're-
yes. We are moving forward on economic development with an eye to really getting a handle on the tasks and on the people we're gonna require. I confess 3 years ago when we began talking about that, it really was not specific enough. I think we really are focusing now on what it is we really want to do with the absence of a redevelopment authority of our own, with the absence of a chamber of commerce that we can turn to. I think we've been frustrated by the best way to approach it, but downtown redevelopment has given us a focus, and there are a lot of, positive discussions about directions the town can go and taking advantage of our unique assets. So I really look for a very productive, assuming I'm reelected tomorrow, moving forward with a productive, I can't say that?
No, you can say that.
Okay.
Um,
I'm looking ahead here.
Massive writing.
Very optimistic,
I'm just
John.
gonna say, unless we have a heck of a lot of people writing their name,
Well, I just realized that I can't electioneer from this position.
Why don't you
but
save this
I'm-
conversation for next week, John?
Okay.
All right.
It'll be a productive, whatever happens, it'll be a productive economic development future for the town. I'm confident of that.
there you go.
Okay.
And I'd just like to put 2 cents in. As we all know, Ragsdale's building has been empty for 5 years. I like to wish the new buyer or tenant, however it's working out, is,
Tenant, as far as I know for now.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
so, my understanding is he opened up this morning.
Yep, and then them opening up the back end too.
So it's nice to see a piece of property that's been sitting dormant finally come to life, so.
Woodhaven used to be down by the dump. He's renting the front of the building, and then the garage is on the back side. The guy that was a mechanic for Dennis Gagliardi down here, he's opening up there on the back side.
Multiple tenants are.
Right,
so-
there's
Really?
2 tenants
So some
going in there right
action.
now.
So it's nice to see
Yeah.
property
Yeah, that
that
is-
was dormant come back
That is
to
good
life.
news.
Yep. So,
Excellent.
I wish him the best.
yep. And then where Woodhaven moved out, there's another guy moving in down there too. So,
Excellent, good to hear, good to hear. Next item on the agenda, is there anything else from the liaison reports? Next item on the agenda is citizens input, anyone like to be heard? Okay,
I have one more thing. We're willing to work with the downtown redevelopment also for the Sugden block.
great.
I just got the spreadsheet out, share with you guys, they did.
Yep.
Is that the breakdown you did, Bobby?
Yeah, basically,
Okay. So
on the
we'll look at
electric,
that.
I just put down what the actual electric bills were, whether they're for the tenants, for the building. It basically just shows electrical cost and gas bill, utility cost. Could be for the tenants, could be for the common
yeah,
area.
downstairs is 4 separate boilers.
Yeah, for the first
Second floor, there's a boiler, and then the 3rd floor, there's another boiler.
Right, and I just put down the actual town's cost for the utilities. I don't know whether they're paying for the tenant or paying for common areas, but it's just the actual cost.
Well, we appreciate it, and we'll look at it as we move forward, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, board member, staff comments, anyone have anything?
One final thing, because it's really not a liaison matter, but Laura Torti passed along to me an inquiry from a member of our community about the possibility of doing townwide yard sales. You see them advertised in surrounding towns. And it's always great to get, inquiries like that from the Spencer residents. Why aren't we doing something other towns are doing, or why are we taking advantage of that kind of interest? And so I went ahead and with the help of Brenda have called and got to set up a meeting with the woman who's been running a very successful townwide yard sale in Rutland over the past number of years. And they really seem to have it down to a system, and I asked her if she would share with us offer us some tips and ways to go about it. I assured them we're not gonna whatever their timetable is, we wouldn't compete with them, but it's something our residents have expressed an interest in. So I'm looking to set that up, and what I hope will follow that, and I'll announce it here at a board meeting, you know, forming an ad hoc committee, just for people who are interested, just to see what kind of, you know, volunteer effort and coordination we can get, because my guess is gonna take a lot of, you know, it's just a lot of running around and details to take care of. It's gonna require some participation from the community, but I'm looking forward to moving that along this summer. Whether or not it's realistic to you know, to set something like that up this summer, I don't know. I really wanna see what the task is, or what the work involved is, but it's something that the town would love to do, I think, if we can get the support and the continued interest. Thanks again to Brenda for letting me know who in the area to turn to, so.
You know where I stand, John, if it gets too complicated, it needs to be centralized, we've discussed this, that we have alternatives to, you know.
Well, every town has its own way of doing it. Some have a common, some we don't, so, but there are other assets we can take advantage of, so.
Perfect.
So I think it could be a lead us in a direction we all wanna see the town going with these town events, so. Keep you posted.
Great.
Thank you, John.
Did you have a recommendation for an agenda on a future meeting? About I think we want to talk about the ambulance services.
Oh, yeah, okay. You lost me there for a minute.
Well, since we only talked about 20 minutes ago,
Yeah,
I
I know,
remember.
no, I would like to, bring up the rescue squad, and like we were just talking about, I guess it would have to be 2017,
Right, at the end of the contract.
into the contract. But I would like to, bring up something, maybe we can change that, because I'm not 100% happy with the way it's going now. And I look at the reports and I look at the times, and I do know of a couple of incidents where one time was like 29 minutes, and the woman was very, a lot of pain. And 29 minutes laying there before you get an ambulance come just isn't kosher to me, especially when they could have called Charlton, because it was, Charlton was like 2.5 miles from there, but it took 29 minutes to get an ambulance there. And, I just don't, and then we have some out in the other end of town, and in the report, there's quite a few that,
There is quite a few.
it's not the 365 days, 24/7 that they guaranteed us. And granted, they lost Paxton, but we're gonna make arrangements with other towns, well, it never happened. And now that man isn't there anymore, so now we just have a woman that took over for him, and I think she's only part-time, I'm not 100% sure. But she's not, looking to try to help this situation out, so I think we need to look at it and figure out something else to do
Mr.
with this
Chairman,
ambulance
can you put
service.
that on as an executive session, and we'll,
I'll have to look I don't know if we're able to do that, Gary, but, in terms of, executive session, but if you wanna talk, we can certainly,
I don't think we have, I think we have to do it in open.
yeah, I think so too. So what I can do is at least get the contract, give you guys, at a future workshop, get you a copy of the contract, and we'll kind of summarize
where we're
the
at.
results
Yeah.
of the calls, if you want, and put some of the reports together,
Right.
and look at your options, and then, discuss, what you guys wanna do.
Next
Yeah.
option.
Yeah, I know it's very complicated. I mean, sometimes you just don't get these numbers, but, for a simple guy like myself, there were certain requirements, there was a low-hanging bar they were supposed to meet. And I'm concerned that is not being met, so just to cover our bases and start discussing it if we have to.
Well, at minimum, maybe what comes out of that workshop is you ask that, I work with the fire chief to just explore all options
Yep.
or something like that.
That'd be
So I'll
great.
put that, I'll schedule that for a
Yep.
future workshop.
And to Bo's credit, it's good timing. It's, here we are at the start of the third year. We owe it to people to take a close look at it, make sure we're getting the best we can for our money.
Thanks, Paul. Anything else from the board? Anything from the administrator? All right, next item on the agenda is a request for executive session. Could I have someone make a motion, please?
Make a motion to go into executive session under general law, chapter 30A-21A-6 for the purpose of considering the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate, as the chair has decided that open meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Bo,
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Before you, I think you need a second.
Yeah, second.
Oh, I'm sorry, do I have,
I'll
do I have a second, on the
second.
motion? We have a second motion, any discussion?
No.
Roll call vote,
Aye.
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 aye. We will reconvene just to adjourn,
Next meeting, your worship.
and our next meeting is the 18th.
So you're gonna reconvene, you have an action item on the 13th.
Okay.
So you have the option, so depending on what happens in the executive
You're
session,
right.
you could come out and say, well,
Okay,
we need additional information, we're not ready to vote, but you do have on the agenda, if you so choose, to come out on that to vote to accept or reject that proposal, so.
We make a
very
motion.
good.
Okay.
We come out. Welcome back. The Board of Selectmen has decided to reconvene. It is 6:50, and we're coming back to the vote on the proposals for the Sutton Block building. We've discussed it in executive session, and what we just, someone makes a motion, Mr. Administrator?
Someone needs to make a motion if they so choose to act on the proposal.
Do I have a motion on how to act on the proposal?
I make a motion that we reject the proposal and not be in the best interest of the town at this time.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we'll just give ourselves the flexibility to re-examine this whole thing, and both organizationally and structurally, to see where we go from here on the property. All right. Is there anything else from the board?
Motion to adjourn.
If there, again, motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll see you on May 18th. Will we be in the main hall?
We will be.
Yeah, we will be.
We'll be in the Memorial Town Hall for our workshop. See you then. Thank you very much.